I have a confession. I do not like the Knives Out films. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see a Knives Out hater, if you will, I guess you want to call me that, watch and react to the teaser trailer for the new Knives Out film titled Wake Up Dead Men. So, we're going to look at this. I'm going to give my thoughts. I'm going to tell you what I think about the franchise generally. I'm going to tell you what I think after watching this, and we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So let's waste no more time and watch this teaser. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say, okay, unlike some trailers, I've actually not watched this one before, mainly because I'm not super duper excited, as I'm sure you can tell by my intro. So that being said, it's 2 minutes and 16 seconds. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to react to it. I'm not a big reactor, though, honestly, so I'm going to watch it, and we're just going to see what it looks like. So together, let us join. Here we go. From Rian Johnson.
Was dressed as a miracle.
It's James Bond.
But what happened that night? There's a much larger scheme. To understand this case, you need to look at the myth that's being constructed. A man gives a sermon.
That's Thanos.
Plain sight of everyone.
Hawkeye and Thanos. That's
walks
fun.
into a sealed concrete box. And 30 seconds later, that man is lying dead. A classic, impossible crime.
Okay, you're freaking me out now.
This is
Daniel
holding
Craig,
this
Josh O'Connor, I think it said, Glenn Close.
Sorry.
Josh Brolin,
What the hell happened?
Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner.
What is truth? We don't know that. We don't. What exists? Does any of this exist? So,
What is even happening right now?
I'm glad to see Jeremy Renner back on the big screen, though, I will say.
To discover what this flock of wicked wolves is hiding.
All right, stop. Here's what's gonna happen. Benoit frickin' Blanc and I are gonna ask you all some questions, and you're gonna answer them. We're gonna get to the bottom of who killed Monsignor Wicks and why, and then that's it.
Now, who wants to go first?
Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out mystery. Select theaters November something, on Netflix December 12th. So, something I'll point out right here is it seems like they're going with the same thing that they did for the last Knives Out film, Glass Onion. They are dropping it in select theaters earlier, and then later into the year, closer to the end of the year too, also might add, they're dropping it on Netflix for everybody to watch. So a lot of people are doing that nowadays. I mean, theatrical runs are not as near as long as they used to be for most, mid-budget films, but that's just one small observation. Here's what's going to be going on. I'm going to talk about what I thought of this, some more thoughts I'm going to give on the Knives Out franchise. And if you've enjoyed this video so far, want to see more, the subscribe button's always appreciated, and so is that like button. Go ahead and hit both of those. I would greatly appreciate that. But in the meantime, ladies and gents, let's go ahead and talk about more thoughts I have on this film. For one, Knives Out in general. So let me set the scene for you. The year is 2020. There is a pandemic going on. It is the worst year of my life. And I'm working at a grocery store at this point. And the grocery store has one of those red boxes. Remember those? I don't think those exist anymore. They're like a portable Blockbuster, essentially, where you rent DVDs. And I rented a few movies from that just because they were cheap. And I was working at the grocery store anyway. So I just go there, rent the movie for like $1 or $2, and then the next day just go and take it back after I watch it. So I rented a couple of movies from there. Knives Out being one of them, because I did not get a chance to see it when it was in theaters, but then again, I don't think most people did either. Now, I remember watching it and thinking, I like a good whodunit, okay? And that's what this franchise really, really is. Some of my favorite movies I can think of, we got Clue, okay, which I did do a review of that nobody watched, so I'd really appreciate it if you hit this button right here and go watch that when you're done with this, of course. That'd be greatly appreciated. But Clue is great. I love the Scream franchise also. Those are two great, fun whodunit franchises. And so, going into Knives Out, I was expecting something kind of like that, and I was thoroughly disappointed. Let me tell you why, okay? In both of the Knives Out films, okay, because I've seen both of them, the whodunit aspect is really, really dead obvious, and I think it is very, very dumb. And if I'm sitting down to watch a whodunit movie, I want some classic things. I want some red herrings. I want basically to be able to piece things together if I know what to look for, because that's always fun and rewarding when you find out that you're right after watching the movie and seeing all the clues. But I don't want it to be that easy, because if it's too easy, then it's, not hard at all. And so Knives Out was way, way too easy, because in the first one, especially, the obvious guy was the guy who did it. It was Chris Evans' character. Spoiler alert. Sorry about that. Not sorry. It just wasn't very good in my opinion. Glass Onion, I actually enjoyed more than the first one, mainly because they were a lot more bonkers, and I liked the setting a lot better in Glass Onion. But I also saw exactly what happened. You know, Dave Bautista took the drink, and then he collapsed and everything like that, and I saw it all playing out. Edward Norton did it. Spoiler alert once again. But I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that at all. Another thing I like to watch Psych, and Psych a lot of times, you can solve the murder before they do. Not all the time, but sometimes, and that's always really enjoyable. And so I like that aspect. I like being able to go into it, and if I'm watching really closely, I can maybe piece things together, but I also still want it to be complicated enough that I can't quite fill in all the cracks. And so that's what the main character and the detective is there for. So that's something I think the Knives Out films really failed to do. And as a result, I'm just not impressed with them at all. I just think they're really, really mediocre, really, really not that great. They're somehow able to get such a star cast, but very mediocre films, if you ask me. Now, this film, let's direct our attention to what's in front of us now. Wake Up Dead Man. I'll put it like this. I'm going to watch it, not because I really want to per se, more because I feel like the franchise could be really good if they just tried. And so that's kind of was my opinion going into Glass Onion. I like Glass Onion better than the first Knives Out. That's just my opinion because I think Glass Onion was more fun. Maybe it wasn't as good a movie. That's fine. That's okay. But if you give me those two movies to rewatch and I have to pick, I'm going to go with Glass Onion. This one seems interesting. I'm glad to see Jeremy Renner back in something. I'm sure he's still been doing things, but I haven't really been seeing him in much since his accident that hopefully he's, healed a lot from with the snow plow, I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. Josh Brolin, I love seeing him and stuff, so I'm going to enjoy seeing him in this film as well. Daniel Craig is always an honor to have on screen. Everything I've seen him in, he's fun, okay? I just enjoy him a lot. Daniel Craig is great. But as far as hype goes, I'm not really feeling much hype at all for this film. I think it just kind of looks mid. It's kind of just okay. It's all right. So that's my general thoughts. I know this is a bit of a shorter video compared to what I normally do, but hey, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the Knives Out franchise. Maybe there's some draw that I'm not understanding or getting with the other films that would make me enjoy it more, why everyone else seems to enjoy it. I really don't know. If you know there's something that maybe I'm not seeing when I'm watching them, something I'm not noticing, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Are you excited for this movie also? I'd also love to hear your opinion on that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, it's going to wrap things up for me today in this video. Thank you guys all for joining me. I once again am K-Swope, and I will see you in the next one.